Again, thank you. My name is Santiago Giraldo. I'm here with my colleague, Alex Bleakley, and we're here to talk to you about a very exciting innovation that we built into the Cloudera Machine Learning product called Applied ML Prototypes, or AMPs. Now, in a nutshell, what AMPs promise is to deliver AI use cases into your business in an accelerated way that enable your data scientists to solve problems in a much faster way than they were able to before. And let me just go ahead and dive in with a quick story about how I see the world of machine learning and artificial intelligence permeating across everything that we do in daily life. And this is one of my favorite stories. It's about my father, who for a very long time thought that the proliferations of things like Lyft and Uber were just funny gimmicks. He never took them seriously and thought that it was a joke. He never planned on downloading those applications, and thought that why do we need to rethink the taxi in this way? And he kind of held on to these values for quite a long time until he went out to purchase a new vehicle out in an area of Florida called Mims. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it is in the middle of nowhere. There is no towns. There's no taxis. There's nothing out there. As he was driving home, the car that he had just purchased broke down, and he found himself in quite a predicament because the closest family members or friends that could pick him up were hours away. There was no taxi service available. So what did he do? He downloaded the Uber app. And in downloading the Uber app, in a couple minutes, he was able to leverage dozens of machine learning models behind the scenes with just a couple taps of his fingers. And this is really where we want to get to. And this is what we want to enable enterprises to do, is to take machine learning, make it magical, make it ubiquitous, and make it accelerated in a way that enables enterprises to power more use cases in a cost-effective way, in a way that's dead simple to execute, so you can deliver more use cases faster in an accelerated manner. And ultimately, so you can drive greater ROI across your business, whether it's B2B or whether it's B2C, like something like Uber. The point of this is to make it as magical and as simple as possible. Now, this sounds great, but in practice, there's many challenges that we need to overcome before we can even achieve this in any way. And while many different analyst firms have different figures for how many models make it to production in an enterprise environment, the numbers generally are low. And then in addition to that, the time that it takes to actually get those models where they need to go, and to embrace the entire life cycle from data ingest all the way through to the model development process, to the production machine learning and creating trust with an organization, they can take months, sometimes even years. So I wanted to pose this question to the group, and just to kind of get an understanding of how is machine learning going in your business? And the question here is, how many ML projects has your organization started that have never actually made it to production or that have failed at some point along the machine learning lifecycle? And I find this interesting because there's many different organizations that I've spoken with, and this number can vary. But one thing that we've noticed across the board is that the problems aren't unanimous. They can spread a wide gambit of different situations along the entire life cycle. Things can get hung up in data quality issues. Things can get hung up in the data science team composition. There can be organizational challenges that are involved with this. There can be challenges with the model development process, or even things like selecting the right model, selecting the right framework to work with. And then also at the tail end is creating that trust with decision makers and business users so that they can take predictions and take the results of the data science work to actually make it effective. Now, let's take a look at what the results are here. All right, so this is a very interesting spread here. So we have lesson 5, lesson 15, and lesson 25, which looks like a tie between lesson 5 and lesson 25. And what I find interesting about sort of this outcome here is that in the conversations that I've had with many of our customers, a lot of times it has to do with the maturity of the organization itself. Now, when it comes to actually getting these things into production, as I mentioned, there's a very wide range of things that have to go into the process to make it effective. So it can all start with your local files, or your files in a data lake, or your files in a cloud environment. You have to worry about your data pipelines and authoring and orchestration. You have to think about the model development process that's inherently multi-step. So everything from how you explore and understand the data to your feature extraction to your training and your fitting of the model. And again, going back to what I had said before, making sure that you're selecting the right best practices, the right models themselves, and you have the right expertise in-house, being able to take those and then package them and deploy them into the business, and then figuring out what's the best way of delivering this, whether it's through REST endpoints, whether you're doing batch scoring, whether you're delivering predictive applications that business users can use out of the box, or whether you're powering other use cases through things like operational database, like consumer products. Now, all of these different pieces have to work together in order for you to actually deliver those use cases effectively into the business. However, there's many challenges that have to go along with that. And it doesn't just stop there. It also has to do with the model monitoring, model retraining, the pipelines that you're maintaining to make sure your data remains accurate, and then how you enable everybody across the board, from your data engineers to your data scientists to your ML engineers. All of this process can take months to accomplish. And if you run a data science team, or if you're in the enterprise and have made substantial investments, this is not anything new to you. It's for quite some time, we've seen low returns on investments regarding machine learning. And we're here to fix that in a very pointed and direct way.